Creating text in After Effects is actually quite straightforward. For that, we have the type tool at the top here, and if I click and hold it down, you see I actually have two tools, the horizontal type tool and the vertical one. I'm going to use the horizontal type tool for now, and you can see the shortcut is Command T. So I'm just going to go click. And with that tool selected, you have two options. You can either go somewhere inside the composition and just click. So if I just go, let's say here and click, and this here is called the point text. Let me just go and type in something here. This is called the point text, and it will just keep on going unless you press return on the keyboard. Then you can jump to the second line and you can just keep typing more. And I'll delete this text. So you either press return to create a line break, or you can come out of the text editing either by selecting a different tool or clicking somewhere else outside your composition panel, or also by pressing the enter key on the numeric keypad. This is enter on the numeric keypad, not the return key. So if I press enter, you see that the text layer gets created, and that's the layer here, and also the text is finalized. Now, with that layer selected and my type tool selected, if I just go and click anywhere on the text, I can edit this. If I click here, I can go in and make some more changes. I'm going to undo that, and then press escape to come out of this. Another way of editing text is I have the layer selected, and I have my selection tool selected. I can just go and simply double click anywhere on this text, and then that takes me into the text editing again, and I can just keep on typing here as well. To cancel it, I'm going to press escape, or you can press enter to accept the changes. So what we just created is called point text. Now the alternative is again by using the same tool, but this time instead of clicking on a point, you click and draw an area, and this is called an area or a paragraph text, and with this, the text will be wrapped inside this box that you just created. So if I just go and type in here, so let me just type in area text will be wrapped inside the text box that you create. So if you want your text to be inside a box like this, which means you can limit the boundaries of it, you would need to click and drag rather than just clicking with this tool. And of course, I can now move this anywhere I like by getting my selection tool and then just clicking and dragging this around. Every now and then, especially when you work with text and you have the caps lock turned on, you're going to run into this issue. When you have the caps lock turned on in After Effects, you'll disable the preview. So if this ever happens, just press caps lock to turn this back off, and then I can click and drag this anywhere I like. And again, of course, if you want to edit the text, you just go and double click here, and then I can click, and then maybe add a spacebar there, and then press enter on the keyboard to come out of it. So using the area text or the paragraph text is quite useful when you want to limit the boundaries of the text. Otherwise, if you just have a couple of words, maybe you're using this as a title, you can then use just the point text to freely move the text around. Now I'm going to go and delete my area text by pressing delete on the keyboard. Now to edit the appearance of the text, you have the character panel and the paragraph panel. Let me just make sure that the text layer is selected, and then I can go to my character panel and just click on this once. And in here, I'll be able to see every single font I have installed on this computer by clicking on this arrow, and I can scroll up or down. So these are all the fonts I have installed on this computer. If I want to change it, of course, all I need to do is to just go and click, or I can select this and then use the up and down arrows on the keyboard to toggle between the different fonts. Let me just go up to maybe a standard font like Arial. If the font I selected has a different style, like bold or italic or condensed or regular, you'll be able to see them here. So I can now make this bold maybe. And we'll actually have a couple of more options if you make this panel a little taller, like so. For example, if the font you're using doesn't have a bold option or italic option, you can use what's called a faux bold or a faux italic here. So this is to create a fake bold effect or a fake italic effect. And if you want to change the color of the text, you come up here. This is the color swatch. This is the color for the fill. So if I click on this, again on the right hand side, this is the standard Adobe color picker. I can pick any color I like from this vertical bar, and then the different shading of that color from the left hand side, like so. And once I'm happy with the color, all I have to do is to go and click OK. And then down here, you have the font size. So I can click and drag this number right or left. So that's getting bigger, that's getting smaller. And then you have the leading option here. That is, if you have multiple lines, let me just add a couple of more lines here. So I'm going to go and double click and then maybe type in After Effects is cool. Then I'll press enter to come out of this. And the leading here will control the distance between the lines. If I click on this arrow, I can set the distance between every line to be, let's say, 10 pixels, or say 30 or more, or I can click on the actual number here and then drag it right, or left. That's called leading. And underneath the leading, you have the tracking, which will set the distance between the characters. If I click and drag this towards right, you see, if I go left, the characters will be closer to each other. As I go towards right, they'll be further away from each other. By the way, you'll also see that I've run out of space here. I can't go any further towards right. I can also go up as well. That's the same as going right. And coming down is the same as going left. And if this is not enough, so I'm running out of space here as well, I can hold down Shift and that will speed things up. And that's true for any slider in After Effects. As you go up, that's the same as going right, and vice versa. Or as you go left, that's the same as going down. And holding down Shift will speed up the movement. And towards the left side of tracking, you have kerning. Kerning is going to set the distance between two characters. And for that, I had to be inside the text. So if I just go maybe click here, I can set the kerning, that's the distance between two characters. An alternative way of doing this is on the keyboard by pressing the Alt key and then using the arrows. So if I press Alt and then use the right arrow, you see that the kerning is increasing, or Alt and the left arrow, the kerning is decreasing. Let's press Escape to come out of this, so I don't want the kerning to be applied here. And in fact, I'm going to set my tracking back to 0 as well. So that's looking normal again. And I'm going to go and delete the last two lines here.